How are you doing?
Hey.
I'm doing good.
Yeah, I love what you're wearing. Like, it's so cool.
Yeah, it depicts us celebrating our independence.
Yes.
You have the
It's
African
so,
in
so,
there.
so, so cool. I love it. I love it.
When she joined us last week, I asked her, so what on earth is an
I was
opulent
about to
dietitian?
ask.
And you know what she said? She says, health is wealth, and opulence is wealth. So
Absolutely.
I was like, you got something
So
going
you
there.
sound, are you a poet by any chance? Do you write anything?
Not
Because
really,
that's some
not
poetry
really.
right there.
Not really, not really.
Opulent dietitian. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Ghanaian tubers.
Okay.
First of all, I mean, from a lay woman, a layman's perspective, when we think of tubers, yes, we think of our yam and that kind of thing. But is there a particular way in which you define tubers in the world of nutrition and dietetics?
All right. Happy Independence Day to all of us. It's actually a special day for all of us, and so as we celebrate other things with regards to our culture, definitely food will not be an exception. It's even a center of our
Yes,
culture.
very much so.
And so it brings us to where we need to take our local foods seriously. They are highly nutritionable, or they're highly nutritional with regards to anything we could find with regards to your growth and your development. And so let's take our nutrition serious. Let's take the locally produced, made foods. Let's value them. We shouldn't underrate them. On this day, let's take it serious. And then not only this day, throughout the year.
Yeah.
All right, that brings us back to tubers. As you said, a lay person will just say tubers are yam, cassava, potatoes, cocoyam. But basically, these tubers are storage organ for plants, where they tend to store nutrients. When in seasons where they'll be out of nutrient, they get back to it and they utilize it. Funny enough, humans discovered it. It was edible, and we begin to consume them. But they are very rich in nutrients. Sorry, they are very rich in nutrients, and especially antioxidants. And these antioxidants, we have phenol, we have vitamin C, and they help to eliminate free radicals from the system. And when we say free radicals, these are let me say, the byproducts of the activities of our cells, which need to be excreted out of the system. So this antioxidant helps with that in that regard. So these tubers, as we just see them in the market, which have been transformed, as we made mention, fufu and pesi, we have puddings, we have them in a roasted form, and not just something that we eat to get satisfied, or just to please people that we are eating. No, we actually get nutrients from these tubers because they are the storage house for these plants. And so you can just imagine a nutrient that in there, if they are storing it for future use, and we are going to benefit from it. You could just imagine the nutrient that you're going to get from it. So basically, they are very high in antioxidant. I think a lot of people will be mentioning, why am I not talking about starch? Starch. Yes, they are also high in starch, because these starch are source of energy. When we say sort of energy, like calories, these are the main basic for energy. So they have starch in there, but not only starch, but other minerals as well. So we shouldn't just look at the starch aspect, but we should also look at the nutrition, other nutrients you can find in there. You have magnesium, we have potassium. I made mention of the antioxidants that are very, very important. You have fiber, which also help in digestion. And so if you are looking at our yam, our potatoes, we shouldn't just look at the starch aspect, but we should look at the other nutrients that are equally important for our growth and development.
I like
Wonderful.
what you've done, because when we think of tubers in Ghana, of course, maybe the four main ones would be, in my thinking, yam, cassava, cocoyam, and then potatoes, or
the sweet
variety and
potatoes.
But I think that what I like about what you've done is that our mind says carbo, starch, right? But what you've done is that you've shown us that the plants themselves need to plan for their future.
Exactly.
And so they are storing in case of an emergency. So it's like the best of the best is what they've kept there in storage. And we go and access that to eat, right? So it's really nutritious. It's not just the carbs. and the starch, you know. But I wanted to walk us through the different kinds of tubers that we have.
Right.
Are there others that we, you know, apart from the yam, cocoa yam, and potatoes and so on? Are there others?
Yeah, so we have cassava too as well. For the locally one, the one that are available are the cassava, potato, sweet potato. We have yam. We have cocoa yam. We actually have one that looks like cocoa yam, but I was trying to look for the English name, but I couldn't come across it. They call it cocoa. Cocoa. I don't know.
Cocoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cocoa. It tastes like cocoa yam.
Yeah.
I'll try and find the English name the next time on the show out. It's also equally beneficial or very nutritious when it comes to the nutritional content. Yeah, so locally these are the ones that we have available. We also have other ones. We also have roots vegetable or tube or stem tubers. Okay, since they are found in the roots of the plant, vegetables like carrots, beetroot are equally tubers, but they are not the root tubers in terms of the energy aspect, but
so
they are more
stem tubers.
Exactly, they are more into the new minerals and vitamins. They don't have carbohydrates in there, but with the main tubers, as the root tubers, they are rich in carbohydrate especially. Aside that, we have the minerals, as I made mention, the potassium, we have vitamin C. And I'm very particular about the antioxidants because this helps to detoxify the system, helps to rejuvenate the cells, and it helps to fight diseases.
Yeah.
And across these tubers, we have something we call glycemic index. And this glycemic index has the ability help us to know the ability of these tubers to raise blood sugars. That's where diabetes come in. So you realize some diabetic have been told they shouldn't consume any of these tubers, which is actually wrong. And so we have the level of their glycemic index. It's in order. Cassava is one of the ones that have the lowest, that have the highest. And so its ability to raise the blood sugars is very high. Potatoes, that sweet potatoes, comparing it to potatoes, sweet potatoes have lower glycemic index compared to potatoes. Yam has a lower glycemic index compared to cassava. So in that regard, if you meet a dietitian, you get to let you know which ones to take and in their quantities. And it made mention of ampesi, fufu. We have other components that comes with it. You have the vegetable stew. So if you are taking your tubers, it shouldn't just be tubers. You should have another balanced condiment that added to it, which are vegetable stew, which have our bomu as a reason of our month. We have our bomu, which is kontomire. We have garden eggs stew. We have turkey berry stew, that's koinsusua stew. These are all locally made stews that are highly nutritious, that could be added to these tubers to make them balanced. So in as much as they are high in these minerals we're talking about, we need to also balance them with the stews, which are also equally nutritious, to complement its nutritional value. Because if you fall only on these tubers, you may run into deficit of nutrients, because you can't just be taking just yam solely or cassava solely or cocoa yam solely. That is why our forefathers, in their own way of balancing their meals, they come out with this locally made stew, which are equally balanced, but all boils down to the preparation. So we have to cut down with the the oil that we add to it. It doesn't matter if it's red oil or palm oil or the vegetable oil. The stew we are preparing, if they are locally produced or they're locally made, we should pay attention to the production or look at the preparation. So you should take that into consideration when you're preparing. In as much as they are healthy, processing or preparation also plays a very key role, because they can also affect the nutrients that are found in these meals that we enjoy as we celebrate the month.
So for people who are watching but don't necessarily have experience eating Ghanaian tubers, what are some of the dishes that we can look at? I mean, I know there's a potompoto.
Exactly.
It's one of my favorites, actually. Then you have ampesi, you know, and then we have fufu, so that's a little more processed. Are there other ones as well?
So as we made mention, we have fufu, we have the ampesi, can either be cocoa yam, can either be yam, it can either be, some even add plantain, even though we're not talking about plantain today. We also have potompoto or yam pudding. You can equally use cocoa yam for potompoto. You can equally use
I think I like
sweet
that
potato.
Sweet
potato. You see, this month on What's Cooking, we've actually done what we call nagoti jogbo. So that's a sweet potato, and potompoto is the pottage, you know, the pudding, you know. Then we also do the makani jobo.
Exactly.
And while we're on the ever conversation, I mean, my mom comes from Pekis, that's the northern
Okay.
part. So we do something called chimenukwe.
Yes, yes.
Yes, yeah. So
With
usually,
that one we don't add the palm oil.
No, just
the
in the
yam
soup.
is in the soup. Yeah.
yes, or the cocoa yam. in the
Very
soup.
tasty.
So there's a lot you can, yeah.
Yeah, you can make from these tubers. And also now I see a trend now, the roast yam.
Yes.
That comes
Yes.
with Kobe.
Kobe,
That is
yeah.
yeah, but I have a little problem
Okay.
because the Kobe is high in they use salt in preserving the fish, and so if you're hypertensive,
Yeah.
we will not advise you to go
Okay.
in for that. However, it's also one of the ways to enjoy your yam a healthy way, either it being boiled or roasted. With the fried, you know, now we are used to the fried yam, fried potatoes, fried cocoyam. Occasionally I don't have an issue, but if it becomes
The
a
regular
lifestyle
thing,
every
yeah.
day.
every day, then I have an issue with it.
What
So,
would be your challenge with it, though, the fried? Is it like the oil content?
yeah, it all boils down to the oil that is used in frying it, the number of times these oils are used. And so, you know, the vendors don't really pay attention to that. So one oil is used over and over again.
To fry fish, to fry plantain,
Exactly.
to fry
Yeah.
yam over and over
Exactly,
again.
and they use high temperatures.
Yeah.
And so it,
Yeah,
it
breaking
changes the
down-
structure
yeah,
of the
breaking
oil,
down.
making it more saturated compared to the initial stage of the oil. So that's the only problem I have. So occasionally I don't have an issue enjoying your fried yam, fried potatoes, fried cocoyam, but in a healthy way, you should more of boiled, you should more of either roasted or grilled, or in any other form you would want to enjoy. But with the
Yeah.
fried, let's look at that. Even though a lot of us enjoy the fried ones, just look at that in terms of their nutritional content. Yeah.
All right.
Wonderful.
Listen, you've given us such a fantastic breakdown. How do
Yeah.
people get in touch with you if they want to find out more?
Yeah, so you can get to me on my social media handles, on Instagram, Opulent Dietitian, on Facebook, on YouTube. But if you want to DM me, you can just WhatsApp me on 0574 875796. It's just WhatsApp. And
Okay,
then
please take that again.
take it. All right, so my WhatsApp number is 0574 875796. Yeah, thank you very much for having me. And then I think the rest of the day we'll eat Ghana.
Yes,
Absolutely.
thank you very much.
Absolutely.
It's very
Thank you.
important.
Yeah.
It's very important.
All right, that was a very fantastic rendition of the Ghanaian or the Ghana version of the nutrition segment here, looking at Ghanaian tubers. Very important for us to go back to what it is that we have locally and enjoy that. And of course, understanding the nutritional benefits makes a big difference.